I think Chris Carter's right. We need to put a fall guy in our posse. And I think we should hire a Ray Donovan type of guy just in case. Hey guys, welcome back to the Best Coast Show. I'm your host, Albert Aguilera, and always, that is my producer, Curtis Sage. Curtis, what's on the show tonight?
We're going to talk about the NFL.
But we don't have an NFL team in Los Angeles, so I guess we really don't have anything to talk about. All right, that's our show. You guys have a good night.
Oh, wait, we have a guest. No, we have a guest.
Oh, we have a guest?
Yeah, we do.
We have a guest. All right. So we do have our very first guest ever. Standing to my right is my good friend, Keith Owens. Keith, welcome to the show. He is a local legend, a UCLA alumni, a former Los Angeles Laker. He is 6'8", 240 pounds of ebony steel. Keith Owens, everybody.
250 pounds.
250 pounds. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Steel.
250 pounds. So, Curtis, what's actually on the rundown of our show?
We're talking NFL. Even though we have Keith here today, we are talking NFL Game of the Week.
I told him he had to come on the show because he gave me a really great NFL idea, and if he didn't come on the show, I would steal it from him. And he doesn't appreciate when people steal from him.
And we're going to talk about that, Game of the Week. And then Raiders, Chargers, possibly in Carson. Rams, possibly. It's a big question mark. Who's coming? Who's not? Do we even want football in Los Angeles? And is LA an NFL city?
Is it? I don't know. I mean, I was born in '87, so I've grown up without an NFL team. I've just seen the Bruins and the Trojans play my whole life. What do you guys think?
Yeah, so Keith.
I'm old enough that I remember NFL being in LA.
Okay.
So I wouldn't mind seeing it come back, but I'm not dying for it to come back. I think I've grown accustomed to not having it.
Yeah.
And I am a television consumer of the NFL. I think that game fits perfectly for that medium. And so I'm happy watching games on TV. All I remember was back in 92, 93, 94, the last few years that the two LA teams were here, and they were both terrible.
Yeah, they were bad.
And we were forced to watch those games in those time slots, and we would miss out on great
Steelers,
NFC
Patriots,
East matchups, AFC East matchups, and we lost out on a lot of good football from a spectator standpoint. From someone who didn't have a stake in those teams that we were forced to watch, I was more than happy to see them go.
Yeah.
So that it opened it up for us to get 4 games every weekend as opposed to just the Rams and or the Raiders each weekend.
Yeah, and that's right. I mean, like right now, the Dodger fans are dealing with blackouts, and right now we have no blackouts because we have no team, so there's no restrictions on us. And I mean, and like Keith said, I also don't care whether or not I have an NFL team. I grew up without one. The last NFL action I saw in Los Angeles was a white Bronco running from the cops. I mean, that's the last thing I remember. Yeah. But that's why we brought Keith on the show, because Keith dropped a great idea on me a couple of months ago in regards to not having an NFL team in Los Angeles, but they were building a stadium regardless. In Carson, they're like, hey, we're going to build this stadium whether or not anyone comes.
Well, first, AEG wanted to build a stadium in downtown LA right next to Staples.
And they gave up, and now AEG is going to build up on LA Live and build another hotel across the street from the Marriott.
Yeah,
so,
which is better.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I just hate the traffic. I hate the traffic.
Yeah.
No stadium in downtown. I hate traffic.
There's going to be traffic nearby whatever stadium.
Carson does nowhere near us.
That's near me.
Carson does nowhere near me. I don't care.
It'll affect plenty of people.
All right, so Keith, lay your idea down on us. Guys, listen to this. I thought it was a great idea. That's why I brought Keith on tonight.
Well, the idea kind of goes to killing a couple of birds with one stone. There's been all the talk about the league wanting to expand to 18 games. None of the players want it. Players Association, no, they're going to have a problem with that. But the league is all about money. Now, as we've seen again this year, there's a debate again about whether the preseason games are viable. Do we want to kill preseason?
Who cares about preseason?
Do we want to take away 2 preseason games?
Yeah.
Add 2 regular season games? So, with that in mind, let's talk about the idea of maybe taking away 1 preseason game. So you play 3 instead of 4.
Yeah.
And adding 1 regular season game instead of 2. So you have a 17-game schedule.
So these guys would get 8 home, 8 away.
Sounds unbalanced that, some teams are going to have 8 games and 9 on the road, 8 at home, or 9 at home, 8 on the road. My idea was to put football in LA, that you just create a neutral site game each week.
It's like the Super Bowl every week.
And have it in LA.
And there's so many transplants in Los Angeles that it could work, right?
Exactly. Everybody here is from somewhere else. You got
Except for us.
Green Bay Packer bars, Steeler bars.
Homegrown talent.
People who are from other cities that love the NFL, they have to go someplace else. They rarely get a chance to see their team play live. And they would, in this scenario, be guaranteed one game from their team every season.
No, and it'd be great for the local economy because they're building the stadium regardless, right? You have jobs all year round because they're not just going to play NFL there. They'll put concerts and monster truck rallies and all that stuff.
Well, that's what
people would establish their vacations coming to Los Angeles because, hey, the Ravens are playing Week 3 against, I don't know, Jacksonville or whoever.
But it also it allows LA to be capitalized on for 17 weeks as opposed to just 8.
Yes.
If there's a team here and they're playing half their games at home, that's 8 weekends.
And then we get out the Super Bowl every year.
TV market.
Because it's 72 and sunny February 3rd, February 7th.
You could make that the Sunday night game of the week every week.
Yeah, or Monday night game.
And it's event TV. And then it's an event where the stars, the bigwigs of LA, who sometimes they care more about the surface and the appearance than the substance. This is the big event. It's the NFL game every week.
They'll be there, too.
And they go to see it just because it's the place to be seen.
See, and I like that. I'd rather have that because they're not going to give us an expansion team. I want an expansion team. Bring back the Avengers. I don't want the Raiders. I don't want the Chargers. I don't want the Rams. I mean,
no one in LA wants the Chargers, really, because even though the Chargers were originally from Los Angeles, that's been anybody who was a fan of the Raiders or the Rams
has hated the Chargers. Yeah.
So why would we want them?
So that's why I like this idea so much because not only does it help the economy, but it makes us the spotlight every week. And because of the transplants that are here who are causing the traffic, the least they could do is bring their teams here and give us. The least they could do is bring their teams here and boost my economy because they're not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm skeptical on the 2 teams coming. Even though they swear
up and down.
the
Raiders, Chargers in Carson?
Yeah, even if it's Rams and Raiders or Rams and Chargers. Just the 2-team.
Who's the allegiance then to?
The 2-team option working in one stadium. That just
the Giants and Jets do it.
There's 2, but they're already there.
True.
They're not trying to move there together. And as much red tape and hurdles as there's been trying to cut through and get over on getting a team in LA, to now have 2 organizations trying to do that at the same time, it just seems far-fetched to me.
Well, and if it's the Raiders, there's mass chaos every weekend. I mean, I think a lot of Los Angeles doesn't want the Raiders back here just because the element that kind of comes back to the city with that. Unfortunately, the Chargers, like I said, but the Rams, I mean, people kind of would want the Rams back. If it was just the Rams.
But who would you guys want back? I personally don't care. But you guys, like you said, you're old enough to remember when they played here.
Rams.
I personally wouldn't care.
I think I agree with Curtis. I would lean a little more towards the Rams. I've always hated the Raiders. So I don't need to have.
And so what do? Obviously, if the Chargers or the Raiders come down here, they stay in the AFC West. But what if it's St. Louis that comes over? What if they're like, hey, Jacksonville, you suck, we're moving you? Then what? Do you realign? Do you throw them into the NFC?
It doesn't seem like it. Seems like there's 3 teams in this race right now.
Right.
A team moving all the way from the East, like Jacksonville, seems to be a great long shot at this point.
I want expansion. I want a team in Los Angeles and a team in London. It'd be totally great. You could put one in the NFC, one in the AFC. And the old England team versus the New England team, and that's another rivalry right there.
That's interesting.
That'd be great.
That's not going to happen.
Old England, New England.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Do you think Old England would appreciate if you called it Old England?
Absolutely. They'd be called regular England.
Oh, regular England.
We'll call them regular England. I think it would work.
I think that the idea of LA as an NFL city is interesting because, I think like he said, it's really more about spectacle. Your idea is great because it becomes this event thing where we don't have to have a team necessarily, but we have this amazing event that occurs every week during the NFL. So it's like having the Super Bowl or a playoff every week, and you put a marquee game, a marquee matchup in your plan, you get a good marquee matchup, and that's going to bring a lot of people.
The thing that you got to also think about with that is that every team's going to have to play in it. So Jacksonville's going to have to come out and play a neutral site game.
You make them play at the beginning of the season when everyone knows they still suck.
And you pit them against a team that draws well, like the Dallas Cowboys or something. So if it's early in the year, when all the interest is still there, and even the poor teams have hope that they could somehow be good, you still get it as a draw, even for the casual fan or the event-driven, LA consumer who's just looking for the hot event. It's opening night of the NFL. It doesn't matter that it's the Jaguars playing in that game.
That's terrible.
Is there any other model in sports where this occurs? So this would be a unique thing.
I mean, college football does a neutral site game. Like, their big thing every year to start the year is big name SEC versus big name.
You?
Yeah, like Oregon and LSU, right? They played in Dallas, and that's a neutral site game, even though it's much closer to Louisiana than it is to Oregon.
Every school doesn't participate in a game like that, but they're there.
Mm-hmm.
But this would be completely. It's the matchups and the timing of the matchups are completely geared towards TV and ticket sales, and the league can make no bones about what they're doing. This isn't about fairness.
Well, and that already happens with TV contracts. With Monday Night Football, you look at it, it says TBD. Like after week 6, that's what it says, because they want to put 2 marquee teams that are still in contention. They're not going to put 2 teams that are hovering around 500 against each other. Yeah. Even if it's a rivalry game, it can be the Ravens and the Steelers. If they're both hovering and nowhere near the playoffs, they won't put them on Monday night.
Right, that's the whole flex scheduling. The thing I also would mention about this game of the week, like as if it would really happen, is
but
that you cannot take a divisional battle, a Redskins Cowboys game, and take it out of one of those 2 cities and bring it to LA.
That'd be unfair.
All of that stuff has to stay the same. The way the schedules are constructed now needs to be the same, where you play everyone in your division twice, but it would always be an intra-conference battle.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
Or they could do what they do now for the Super Bowl.
It didn't impact, rivalries or things that you would normally see.
I mean, what they do now for the Super Bowl is, hey, if you want your city to be even considered for the Super Bowl, you have to be open to playing in London. I mean, if you're not open to playing in London...
You have this London thing. What's up with that?
No, that's what the NFL does. Every year, they're putting more and more games out there. And if your team wants to be considered to host, not your team, but your city hosts the Super Bowl, you have to be considered a team that is open and willing to play in London.
Interesting.
So it's like, and I mean, we're in Los Angeles. We don't have a team, and it'd be super cool just to get the Super Bowl here every other year or rotate it, because we have the weather to do it. You never have to worry about it. I mean, this year it's up north, isn't it? It's up in San Francisco at Levi Stadium.
Not sure where the site is.
Super Bowl 50. They're using actual numbers.
We don't watch NFL.
Yeah, we don't.
Are they?
We do.
I think so.
It's not going to be Super Bowl L.
No, it's going to be Super Bowl 50. They're using actual numbers instead of Roman numerals.
That's why the 50-yard line is gold in the preseason.
I did see that. I was wondering why. I was like, why is the 50 gold?
I just thought of that right now.
I didn't think about that at all.
So what's the consensus? Do we want NFL to come to LA, or do we want this plan? I vote. I like the game of the week. I like
the game of the week too. I don't need a team here. I don't.
Start this. We start the push. We get our social media director to start pushing this out. Lots of.
That's what we do. Get our social media director to jump on this.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we need your help. We want this to be the game of the week. We don't really want a team in Los Angeles, and neither do you. Don't listen to people. Listen to us. You don't want a team in Los Angeles. You want every team in Los Angeles. Sure.
Whatever tweets you send out, hashtag Ebony Steel.
Yes.
In fact, 250 pounds of Ebony Steel.
Hashtag Ebony Steel. That's what we're going to be using. What's next on the thing? Is LA an NFL city? Did we talk about that already?
Yeah, we did. We got everything covered.
I think we got that. So I think what's next? Our gift of the day is next.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So gift of the day, it's the internet. So we're talking about cats, and everyone likes cats. This cat is the Los Angeles cat. It's stuck in traffic, and it's kind of about whether or not the NFL wants to come to Los Angeles, because the NFL wants us more than we want them. Let's be honest here. So that's our show, everybody. Thanks again to Keith Owens for coming in. Don't forget the hashtag Ebony Steel, and we'll see you later.